Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue my discussion, I guess, about the collector's edition. Yeah, I love getting collector's edition. I love Monster Hunter so much. If I had money or money to spare, I guess that's the right term. If I have money to spare, I'd totally get it. But with my, I guess, decision, especially when I don't have any money to spare, I have to look at, like, I guess, the bad parts of that collector's edition. And yeah, I saw a lot. I saw a lot of nothing, I guess. Yeah, I saw, like, it had a soundtrack of it, which is cool. I love soundtracks, like actual physical CDs of soundtracks. I love that. Kind of regretting my decision now, I guess. But still, it's still a bad. There are still bad things that, like, totally. That's just another priority, I guess. Yeah, it's a totally different priority that is way higher than um than just like the soundtrack. Yeah, I love Monster Hunter soundtracks. They're really good. They're like all every time I hear like a really familiar soundtrack, it makes my heart beat and flutter and stomach flutters with butterflies and shit like that. It makes me feel something. So that's how much I love Monster Hunter, and Monster Hunter's like production is. They're really good. But I don't know, because this is a new Monster Hunter game, so I don't know what the soundtrack's gonna be. So yeah, that's just my excuse of not wanting to get the collector's edition. One of it, the reason, I guess. So yeah, the soundtrack is good, like physical CD of the soundtrack, but I don't know a lot of the music. So yeah, I might not want it. So I mean, I already decided not to get it because I basically already pre-ordered the deluxe version. Another thing, there are other things in there, but they're pretty small. I think there was like some like posters, I guess, or cards or something like that. I don't know. I gotta look it up. I have my computer right in front of me. I should do that. Let's see. Monster Hunter World, MH World. Collector's Edition. Collector's Edition. PS4. Let's see. I mean, I still have time, so yeah. Let's see. I mean, yeah, I'm just stalling right now, so I like, yeah. So yeah, you get. Oh, what the hell is this? Okay, so the collector's edition has a very huge box. Let's see. You get the soundtrack, the figure, the product code card. I'm not sure what that is. Of course, the game case. Yeah, it has a huge box, and then and this is like the high priority for me. It has a very huge art book. I didn't really show. Yeah, I didn't really upload the art book showcase for Monster Hunter art books. Yeah, I do have 3 art books of Monster Hunters. It's not really an art book, it's more like a CG collection, I guess. It shows you like the models they use for the generations of games. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think I actually recorded it, I just didn't uploaded it. So yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I might have to re-record it. But yeah, I love art books. This one, and I did a little bit of research of the art book, I guess. Well, not really a complete research, because this is a new game and new collector's edition. Nobody really knows what's inside the art book, but I can totally see it in the descriptions in the websites, and I guess the information of it. And especially, I think the cover of the freaking art book itself actually says it's just monster designs. Like, I love I love everything about Monster Hunter, but an art book that only shows monster designs is not worth it. and that's what I love about my like the only um the thing that I love about the Monster Hunter art books that I have right now, or the CG art books right now that I have, is that they include everything, like the concept arts, or like like the actual look, or the planning stage, or something like that, or just like, yeah, the world, or the hub areas, or the NPCs, um, of course the monsters, the like the CG art of them, the weapons, the armor. And that's what I like about the art books that I have right now of Monster Hunter. It's amazing, even though it's not really, painted or drawing art book. I think it's called the encyclopedia, but it's kind of hard to get those. It's really like, it's very limited, and man, I would love to have those one day, if it actually exists. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, again, they're limited edition, and yeah, especially with Monster Hunter being obscure to the West, it's not. It's gonna be limited to just Japan. So yeah, yeah, having an art book only to have like arts of monsters, it's not worth it. Especially if, yeah, especially the Monster Hunter Worlds, they pretty much announced that, oh, you have a bunch of like new monsters and returning monsters in the game. But I'm starting to think they actually said this, like they're gonna add monsters eventually. Well, the good thing about this is it's free download. Monster Hunter always gives you like free DLC, but um, this kind of happens in most Capcom games. I think this is what I'm trying to speculate, I guess. And it's kind of sad to think about. Capcom has been like releasing games that are unfinished, and I'm not a Fighter player. I still like look into it, but yeah, Street Fighter. I was so like, back when I was like looking for fighting games. I mean, I still love fighting games. Street Fighter was like, you know what? That's one of the fighting games I might have to try out. Until when they released the game with a bunch of missing content, I was like, nope, my money is not worth that piece of unfinished game. So yeah, and I hope this doesn't happen. Then again, I can excuse them, I guess, because it is a new game for the, like, it's been a while since they work on a console game, and they're probably just like, I think I'm gonna extend my actual ramblings actually in another video, shit, because like there's so many things that I have to talk about. But yeah, besides that, I'm just gonna talk about that later. But yeah, it's like Monster Hunter World is kind of a new game, and I bet they're just like testing it, because it is like a worldwide release. It's not just, it starts at Japan, and the Western Monster Hunter fans just, like hoping that the new and recent Monster Hunter game will be released in the West. So this is like this is the best thing that could happen. It's like like. So yeah, they're probably like testing, like, oh, we're gonna test a worldwide release of a Monster Hunter game and see if like those overseas releases actually do good. And yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna support this game because I love Monster Hunter, and show that I like the West loves Monster Hunter too. So like Capcom, Japan will know, like, oh, there's Monster Hunter fans overseas that want more Monster Hunter. So yeah, keep going with it. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that later a lot. But yeah, let's see where I lost track of my subject there. So yeah, going back to, yeah, kind of like the unfinished game kind of thing. Yeah, going back to the art book, I guess. So yeah, if you have just a monster designs for the art book, and they said about like the like, oh, you have your selection of new monsters and returning monsters in the main game, and they're just gonna like, they actually said that they're gonna add more monsters later. And again, repeating myself, it's good. It's the good part of it is it's free. Monster Hunter always, like, Monster Hunter team always gives you free DLC. That's a good thing, cool. But yeah, it has that feeling of, oh, it seems like it's an unfinished game because, you know, you put in like the crucial stuff, like for example monsters that you can fight later for DLC. Yeah, comparing it back to, like, you know, the 3DS games. For example, okay, I'm just realizing that I'm totally like proving myself wrong. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. For example, in Monster Hunter for You, yeah, it's a complete game. Yes, like G rank and stuff like that. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, amazing G rank and stuff like that. You get DLC for like the like collaborations and stuff like that, or extra like challenges for arena, for monster hunting and stuff like that. Yeah, it's basically complete. Otherwise, well, some part, like, yeah, some parts of it is actually pretty cool. Or like the one that proves me wrong is that there are some DLC quests that adds new monsters in for you. For example, the white fatalis, the normal fatalis, I think. Yeah, the normal and white fatalis was added later as DLC, which is cool because it's just like a small like addition, which is cool. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you missed this fight way back in the older games, have it right now. So yeah, and for this one, I hope they introduce more new Monster Hunter. Jeez, new monsters in Monster Hunter world, because I saw the leak. I guess the leak page or the leak monster list. I look at it and it's like, it's a decent size. It shows you like new monsters, which is cool. There's a lot of them. I hope it has more though. But yeah, I look at it and there are some cool like returning monsters. Sadly, there are some monsters that I like that are not there. But I guess that's what they're trying to do. It's like, oh, if this leak list is actually real, like, yeah, if this leak list is actually real, they probably, like, you know, add those like most loved popular monsters later. And it works probably, like, yeah, it would work because it's a quest base game. It doesn't have to be, because if it's open world, then yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be like, you know, Final Fantasy 15. I don't really play that game, but I did look up some like news about it. So yeah, like, yeah, it's like, it's much more weirder to have like an open world game and you see something like, oh, it's kind of limited, and then they suddenly update it and add a like basically an expansion of it, and it's like, oh, well, wait, why didn't you just add this in the release date? I had that feeling when they said that. But then again, it might work because Monster Hunter, and especially like right now with like the beta as it shows, it has like basically your hub world and stuff like that, showing you like your side characters and stuff like that, NPCs. But yeah, and it's basically just go to a quest, and that's the open world part. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna end this part right here. Yeah, be right back.